So it is close to dinner time and supper time. However you want to choose to say it, supper or dinner. The only meal that I have, it's I'm on the OMAD, which is the 1 meal a day, and so usually I get hungry around 2:30. Lately I haven't been, but I'll tell you, yesterday I actually scared myself. I've been using castor oil to detoxify my body. And they did give a warning when I was watching the show on how to do it. They gave a warning about being very, very careful that you don't overdo it. And I had slathered the castor oil on my stomach, and I was having problems with underneath my breast right here. There's a lump that comes out sometimes, and it hurts a lot. And it's, if I bend over, it kind of gets in the way and it kind of hurts, and I push it back. So I thought it might be a hernia, right? Now I've never had it checked, and every time I go into the doctor to get it checked, they can't find it. So I don't know what it is. And I've heard that it could be liver, it could be gallstones, it could be like on and on, but they never find anything when I go in and get it checked, which I have done in previous years. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to detoxify. So I rubbed my stomach. Now, I don't have a lot of room in here, but I rubbed my stomach, this area right here, and a little bit lower. I don't even know if you can see that, near my groin area. So I rubbed that down with castor oil. And I was feeling great. I was feeling fine. I was watching my shows. I was relaxed. I wasn't, and all of a sudden I got this anxiety. I got this really high anxiety. And I remember reading in the article and watching on the videos that with the castor oil, you have to be careful because that is one of the symptoms or the signs of the fact that your body is overtaxed. Now what happens is the castor oil will detoxify the body, but sometimes it will draw out whatever is in there, the toxins that are in there. And if you have a lot of toxins in there, okay, it's almost overwhelming for the body if the body is drawing those out. And that's how I felt. My body felt overwhelmed. It felt exhausted. I felt the top of my lip once again, and that's a sign of a stroke. I felt the top of my lip get that funny feeling. It wasn't a numb feeling, but it was an odd feeling. And down this arm, today, like actually today, I have an odd feeling in this hand. Now, I still have strength in this hand, and I bet, like testing it, and I have strength in it. The palms are not bright red. And that was again a sign of the fact that I was having a stroke years ago. Okay, so I was a little concerned about that. And so I laid on the couch, I put my feet up, I got some, I keep paprika on a plate. Okay, I keep paprika on a plate. And the reason why is because I don't have any baby aspirin. I don't have any baby aspirin, and the paprika takes the place of the baby aspirin. And so I was, making sure that if I was having a stroke, I was going to put some of that on my finger, put it inside my mouth. Well, I did that, and the feeling subsided. And then about half an hour later, it started again. And so I continued to do it until I felt better. And I also chewed on some garlic cloves. I had a wad of ginger, raw ginger in the fridge. I chewed on that, and it brought it down. Okay, so the anxiety came down, the feeling went away, and everything was fine. I got tired, I laid down, and I slept right through till I think it was 8 o'clock this morning. Anyhow, so I slept right through. I slept fine. I woke up this morning and I felt good. I felt good. And, I do know that yesterday I might have overindulged in food a little bit too much because I only do 1 meal a day, but on the weekend sometimes I have a tendency to kind of like slide, and I think I might have overdone it. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm not going to have any bread. I'm not going to have any cookies because I did make cookies, right? And I had them in the freezer, and I had some bread in the freezer. So, I might have overdone it. I really, truly think I did that to myself. And you have to be careful. And don't forget, yesterday I think I even had French fries. Yeah, with the red pepper flakes, which speeds up your metabolism. So basically, I was kind of like, setting myself up for a fall, right? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make, I don't know if you watched my videos, you might be new here, but I made little quiche cupcakes. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a pie. I'm going to make a pie. I'm going to use 2 eggs, a tin of tuna, which I've got a lot of tuna, but you know, I got to try to conserve some groceries here. So we're going to put 2 eggs. I'm going to turn this down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I got my good bowl here. 2 eggs. That's going to be my protein, right? So my 2 eggs. And I'm going to beat them. I've got my oven on bake also. I also treated 2 spots that I had that was worried about them becoming cancerous, and they've dried up and literally flaked off. This one is a little bit red, but it had crusted edges. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, the good Lord's looking out after me. Okay, so I've chopped up an onion, a medium-sized onion. I'm going to put that in. Now, I also use basil, and I use a lot of herbs, right? So this is basil, and it's anti-inflammatory. So I'm going to put that, some of that in also. Probably show you if I do this. Okay, so about a pinch of it, right? So maybe a little bit more, just because I can. Okay, and then some pepper, because pepper is very good for you. So pepper's going to go in there. And some garlic powder. I have garlic, however, chili flakes. I'm not going to go overboard with these. I'm just going to put a few in. Okay. After I drop them all over the cupboard. Okay. So next, I'm going to put in the tuna. I've already opened. Whole tin of tuna. And we're going to kind of break that up. And I don't even know if you can see that. Can you see that? You should be able to. So I'm just going to mix that up. I forgot the milk. I put some cream in there. I only have a little bit left, so we're just going to put it in. No biggie. A little bit of milk. Now, here's my secret ingredient, Tostitos, right? So I'm going to put a couple of spoonfuls of that in. So put a couple of those in. Oh, look. So about two and a half machines, because I don't want it to be too runny. Right? So, okay. Now the big thing that I'm going to put in here is I use, because I don't have any vitamin B12, and it's getting very, very expensive, okay? So, but I do have nutritional yeast. And as I said on the previous video, that has high amounts of B12, all the B vitamins. So I actually have purchased a second pouch of this. I'm going to try to keep it in stock as much as I can. So I'm going to take nutritional yeast, and I'm going to have to use another spoon. The things I do. No wonder I have so many dishes. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast is going to go in there. 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put a little pinch of salt in there. I mean, just a pinch. I hope that didn't go too much. You know, I might put 1 more egg in there. I think I'm going to put another egg in, because this is going to be my 1 meal, right? So 3 eggs, I think, will do it. Because I want it to rise a little bit higher. Then I just mix it around. Okay. Now, I do have these. They're almost like muffin, like the muffin cups that you can buy. And I got it at the cheap store. And they're parchment paper actually, and folded like a pie thing. So I have a pie plate, and the pie plate is lower. I wish I had a higher one, but I don't. So I just put that in like that, and I don't have to butter it or anything. Then I'm going to take my spatula, and all I'm going to do is literally try to move all this out of the way. Literally just scoop it in here. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's all she wrote, folks. That's all you do. Simple as that. Basically the same thing um, that I did when I made the smaller cups, right? So, and I've already preheated the oven on bake, and so I'm just going to pop this in the oven, and then when it gets done, when the top, um, well, when the pie actually looks like it's cooked, it's got that white color to it. I'm going to take some cheese, sprinkle that on top, and pop it back in the oven. And that is going to be my supper for tonight. It's going to be protein. There's not going to be any bread or any carbs like that, right? So if there is carbs in this, oh well, but it's not going to be bread. Because bread, I find, is very inflammatory on me lately, right? And so I think last night I was overwhelmed with the detoxification of my body, and on top of that, I mean, think about this. Before I put the castor oil on my stomach for the detoxification, which they warned about, I did know about this. Before that, I had eaten, and I had some French fries. I had I overdid it. I overdid it. And I know I overdid it because when I laid down, I could feel it. And that's my own fault. That's my own guilt, right? I'm guilty as sin for that one because I knew I had cookies. I had like, I must have had 4 or 5 cookies, like seriously. And they were the big ones, right? And the ones I made the other day on the video with the rolled oats. So yeah, so I had, and my body's not used to that anymore. I don't eat a lot of jaggery even. I don't eat a lot of sugars, right? And so my body's not used to that. And then all of a sudden, boom, what do? I messed it all up, right? So let's put this in the oven. Yeah, so I basically messed it up. And it's my own fault, and I knew it. I knew it was happening, but I knew I overate. So tonight, there's not going to be any bread. There's not going to be any cookies. There's not going to be any butter. Um, there's definitely not going to be any sugar. Now, there might be some sugar in this, right? In the Tostitos, because, I mean, it does have that type of taste. So it probably does have some type of sugar in it, but not enough to kind of register on my scale of sugar. So that is that. We're not going to do that. That's the end of that nonsense. So today I'm really, really watching even what I drink. Like this morning, in the morning, I wake up and I take my water soluble vitamins, my potassium and all that. I take them with water, and then I take my fat soluble vitamins, the omegas, with some kefir. Now I've ran out of kefir. I can't afford to get it this week or even next week. I'm going to have to wait a while. So I save remnants of the kefir. And what I'm going to do is, what I do is I take my fat soluble vitamins with the kefir, because if you don't, you're basically not doing anything. It's not even getting in there where it needs to go. So I take the omegas with the kefir, and I take the water soluble vitamins with water. But I also take, because I have high blood pressure, right? I also take ashwagandha, and I keep it in a jar. I keep it in the cupboard. And I take I think it's 1/2 teaspoon. No, this one's 1 teaspoon. So I take 1 teaspoon and I put it in 10 ounces of water. I put it in 10 ounces of water, and that's what I take my water soluble vitamins with. And I drink all of it. I drink all the water. I take all my water soluble vitamins with the ashwagandha in the water in the morning. Then I take the fat soluble with the kefir, with 2 tablespoons of kefir, because that's basically all I have left, right? So that's just part of my morning routine. And I do have more castor oil left. I did fill one of my big opaque containers full of it, so it was full. So I'm going to have to be very careful with that and not overtax my body, because I am in the process of detoxifying my body, right? And kind of like eating all those carbs I ate yesterday and then trying to detoxify. So basically all the foods that I ate that gave me inflammation, they all came to the surface in one big whoosh, right? And so that overtaxed my body, and it kind of put me on that danger level. So I have to be very, very careful with that, and that's what I'm going to do. So I will show you this once it's cooked. I will show you how it turned out. And indeed, after I put the cheese on, I'm going to slip her back in the oven, and I'm going to toast the top, and that's going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing supper for me tonight. Plus, it's going to be anti-inflammatory. So I'll see you then. Okay, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. If I can find my other oven mitt. Oh, there it is. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks so good. It smells so good. Okay, so now I'm going to put some cheese on it. I shred my cheese and I keep it in the freezer because I don't eat it a lot. Like, I don't eat a lot of cheese, but it's good to have it on hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle some of this cheese on there, if I can break it apart. Okay. So let's just sprinkle some cheese on. Usually breaks apart really good, but yeah, so I had a very sick kitty on my hands the other night, and I don't know why, but he was very, very sick. So he's taking a break from YouTube because he's very, very ill. I had to break some of it apart. So okay, and now we're going to put it back. So I'm going to put it back in the oven, and this time it's on broil, but it's on low. So this will be my supper. Put it in there, and we're going to let the top get nice and brown and crusty, and then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to have my supper, and I'll show that to you once I have it plated. So I'll be back. So it's out of the oven, and I'm going to show you up close what it looks like. So the cheese is melted and toasted on the top, and I'm going to enjoy that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit it down, let it cool down, and when it's cool, then I'll have my supper. So I shall see you on the next video, the good Lord be willing.